You know that magical moment when you finally sit down to start writing your novel and your playlist is vibing and your coffee is perfect and you are convinced that you are about to write the next instant New York Times bestseller, and then 3 chapters later, you start to feel a little less like,
I'm a literary genius,
and a little more like,
I have no idea what I'm doing.
But guess what? That's normal. 90% of the time, writing a first draft feels like flying blind. And that's why I decided to make this video breaking down the 5 deadly mistakes that writers make when writing the first draft. Oh, and mistake number 5 is a career killer, okay? So make sure you stay for number 5 because I see a lot of new writers do this, and I can guarantee you if you don't break this bad habit, it could single-handedly ruin your author life. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Abby and I help writers make their stories matter and make their author dreams come true. And if that's something you're on a mission to do, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel because I would love to have you here in the community. Okay, mistake number 1, don't expect your first draft to be bookshelf ready. This is where most new writers lose faith in themselves because they expect their first draft to come out like something that they would pull off the shelf at Barnes & Noble. But guess what? No book in existence started out that way. In fact, if you could take your favorite book of all time and rewind time to when it was a first draft, you might be cringing at it a little bit. I see so many writers get disheartened because they think their writing is just plain bad when they compare it to the Pulitzer Prize-winning novels that they're holding it up against. And this is more than just perfectionism, okay? It's comparison, and I promise it will rob you of your creativity and kill your inspiration. And if you're thinking right now,
you just don't get it, Abby. My writing actually is bad.
I want you to do something for me. Think of your favorite book of all time, the one that you have gone back and reread. It was so good, okay? Do you have it? Okay, now I want you to imagine you could rewind time and see that author at their desk writing that book, writing that first draft. What if they doubted themselves so much and thought, oh, my writing is so bad, that they decided to close the laptop, put it away, and never publish that book? Would that be a smart move on their part? To let comparison and self-doubt win? No. So don't let it win in your life either. So on the flip side, do remember that every masterpiece begins as a mess. This changed my life, and I think it might change your life too. I want you to give yourself permission right now to write ugly. Take a sticky note and write this down. These 2 words, write ugly. And I want you to put that on your laptop or your desk, somewhere that you're gonna see it. Because guess what? Every great story is born kinda ugly. Published books go through multiple rounds of editing and revisions before they ever see a bookshelf. So take the pressure off to be perfect during this writing stage. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it won't be, and that's okay. That's how you know you're doing it right. It's through the process of rewriting and revising and editing that the true brilliance emerges. So right now, don't make it perfect, just make it exist. Trust me, you'll have plenty of time to make it perfect later. Mistake number 2, don't write and edit at the same time. If you're constantly backtracking to rewrite and edit the scene that you just wrote, and you're never making forward progress, you're going to get discouraged really fast. You're gonna feel like you're taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and you're never really making progress. You'll leave every single writing session feeling frustrated, and you'll be looking at other writers who are flying through their first drafts, and you're like,
why isn't that me? Why are they writing so much faster than me?
And it's not that they're writing faster than you, it's that you are literally slowing yourself down by going back and trying to make this thing perfect when it's not time to edit yet. It's time to write the first draft. Do write recklessly now, save editing for later. Writing a book is a bit like building a house. You can't decorate it and paint the walls before the structure and the drywall is even up, right? Same goes for your book. Build the foundation first, even if it doesn't look as pretty and polished as you imagined. I know it's hard, but you need to separate drafting from editing. They are 2 separate processes and they are 2 separate states of mind. If it helps, make a few light touch changes now just to make sure you're saying what you really want to say. I do this all the time, but I try to limit myself where I don't stop for a long time. If I want to change one word, 2 words, I let myself do that. But if I sit there for more than a few minutes obsessing over the right word to use and scrolling through a thesaurus and thinking,
I don't know if that's really, maybe that doesn't sound right.
That's when I need to stop myself and be like, okay, Abby, we have to move on. When you catch yourself obsessing, you need to put the blinders up and just move forward. Right now, what matters most is keeping your momentum strong as you write this first draft. And that's why I say write recklessly. And that might even be a better motto than write ugly, although I still want you to give yourself permission to write ugly. But also give yourself permission to write recklessly. What if you just smashed your way through this first draft with reckless abandon? What if you didn't care so much? I'll tell you what would happen. You'll actually come out with a story instead of sitting there staring at a blank page overthinking it. And as the famous quote goes, you can't edit a blank page. You can fix a messy one. Or as I always like to say, you don't have to be a good writer. You just have to be a good rewriter. Okay, moving on to mistake number 3. Don't panic or give up when the honeymoon phase ends. You know what I'm talking about? That moment where you're like 1/3 or halfway through the first draft and suddenly it just doesn't feel as shiny as it once did. You feel like you're running low on inspiration and all of a sudden you're doubting yourself like,
what if I never should have started writing this book? What if I've run out of inspiration and I can't get any back? What if I lost momentum and I can't get it back? What if this whole thing was a mistake?
I do not know a single writer who hasn't experienced this feeling at some point, myself included. Sometimes the honeymoon phase wears off and the inspiration dips, and usually it's like halfway through your book, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't be writing it or that you made a mistake even starting this story in the first place. All this means is that you're dedicated and you're taking it seriously. So the worst thing to do in this moment is to panic or give up on your project. Instead, expect the inspiration to dip and have a plan to reignite your spark. Most writers don't have a game plan for what to do when their momentum slows and their inspiration flags. But you can get ahead of the curve now by anticipating that dip in inspiration and preparing yourself for it. What are you going to do to remind yourself of how much you love this story and how passionate you are about telling it? What triggers can you set up now that you know will reignite your spark later? Maybe it's making a visual Pinterest board for your book that you can go back and add to and look at. Or maybe it's curating a fun playlist that you can listen to and put your headphones on and feel like you are watching the movie that is your book. Or maybe it's writing down your why it matters statement and putting that on your computer or your desktop or as your computer background. And if you're thinking right now,
Abby, I have no idea what I will do if I lose momentum halfway through this book,
then you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're going to be exploring in depth in my upcoming live training, Mid-Draft Momentum, how to fall back in love with your story and finish strong. If you ever find yourself struggling to stay motivated throughout your draft, doubting the quality of your writing, overthinking every word, or wondering if you've just lost that spark that you started with, this training is for you. The techniques and mindset hacks that I'm going to share in this training are going to be the literary armor that you need to do battle with the mushy middle, so that when you lose momentum, you can get it back like that. In this training, you will learn why the mid-draft slump happens and how to turn it around, how to reconnect with the emotional heartbeat of your story, my go-to reset rituals to get back into flow fast, how to build momentum that carries you all the way to the final page, and the mindset shift that turns frustration into creative freedom. This training is designed to help you reignite your creative spark and fall back in love with your story again, so that you can finish what you started with confidence and joy. So click the link below to save your spot at the live training. It's happening Sunday, November 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't make it to the live stream, don't worry, you can still watch the replay as many times as you want. So if you're watching this video in the future and you're like, oh shoot, I missed it, you can still click that link right now and watch it on demand. I hope to see you over there. Let's get back into the mistakes writers make with the first draft. Okay, mistake number 4. Don't waste time on decision fatigue, aka analysis paralysis. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see new writers make. They'll spend weeks, months, even years in the learning phase, researching the perfect way to outline, create characters, world build, craft a plot, and instead they end up writing nothing. This is known as analysis paralysis. When you become too caught up in the planning process, you sabotage the writing process. And there's a point at which preparation becomes procrastination. If the writing process always feels out of reach to you, after more researching, more planning, more outlining, more learning, then you might be falling into this trap. I like to think of this like an Olympic athlete who buys all the right gear and all the right workout clothes and preps their meals and plans their diet meticulously and polishes their empty trophy case, but they never actually train their sport. All those activities support the practice, but without the practice itself, all of that preparation is worthless. So on the flip side, pick a method, any method, and start. You'll learn what works for you by doing it, not by thinking about it. 90% of what I know about writing, I learned experientially. I learned by actually writing, by just throwing myself into the process, learning from stories, learning from my own process, learning how to do better based on previous experience. That's why experience is the best teacher. It teaches you things that you'll never be able to learn in a book or in a course or even in my videos. There is an untapped creative power in you just waiting to be unleashed. And the moment you unleash it, amazing things will happen. So don't let the over-analysis kill your forward momentum. And finally, last but definitely not least, mistake number 5, the career killer. Don't get stuck in a cycle of never finishing what you start. This is the trap that I see so many new writers fall into. They jump from one shiny new project to the next, constantly uprooting themselves, and it results in never finishing anything. If this is you, you probably feel like you just can't summon the energy and the inspiration and the dedication that it takes to see a project through all the way to the end. You get bored halfway through, you get restless, you start doubting whether or not it's even a good idea. All you're left with is a bunch of half-baked projects that didn't go anywhere. On the flip side, do finish something. Even if it's just a 5-page short story. I promise, seeing a project through all the way to the end will give you an incredible sense of accomplishment. A lot of times, it's not that we lose inspiration for a project or an idea, it's that we lose confidence in ourselves. But maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe it's not your writing. Maybe it's that the story needs a little something extra to make you fall in love with it again. And if that's the case, consider adding something unexpected, something that you didn't think to add before. Can you incorporate a new trope that you know you love? Can you change the point of view character or add a point of view? What if you blended a few subgenres together to make something totally unique? Ask yourself, what would be the most fun, self-indulgent thing for me to write? And then go write that thing. Adding that layer of enjoyment, that layer of fun, adventure, spontaneity will make you so much more excited to return to that story and actually finish it and see it through to the end. It should feel like a self-indulgent escape from reality, not like a creative chore that you're forcing yourself to finish. I promise you, inspiration will return when you convince your brain that you're taking this project seriously. If you're constantly stuck in this loop of giving up, not finishing what you start, then start small. Write a short story. Write 5 pages and complete something. Prove to yourself that you have the dedication to see your projects through to the end. Because here's the truth. If you want to make it as a professional writer, then you're going to have finished projects, right? Even if they're bad, even if they're sloppy and messy and you're like, that did not come out the way I wanted to. Guess what? You can make another one, or you can improve that one that you made. But you can't improve it if it doesn't even exist. Even if you feel like this isn't my best work ever, I want you to finish it. I want you to prove to yourself that you can and that you are a serious writer. And if it's the mid-draft lull that kills your creativity every time and you lose inspiration, you lose momentum for your book halfway through, and this is a consistent pattern for you, then you definitely don't want to miss my upcoming live training. It's happening Sunday, November 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So click the link below this video to save your spot, and I hope to see you over there. It's going to be epic and so helpful, especially if you're doing Novel November this November and you're kind of excited to get into that, but you're a little bit worried that halfway through you might lose motivation and lose momentum. I've got you. This is why I'm making this training. For all of you who are challenging yourselves to write a novel next month, and you need that extra support to make sure you stay the course and actually see your book through to the end. And if you want to join Novel November, by the way, the link for that is below this video as well. It's a 30-day free writing challenge. We are going to write 50,000 words or a novel in the month of November, and I hope to see you over there. If you want to join this challenge, but you haven't prepared anything and you're like, oh shoot, I want to write a novel, but October is almost over and I don't have time to plan, I've got you covered. Check out this video where I break down my super simple, pantser-friendly outlining method. It takes only 25 minutes. It will help you so much to create that flexible roadmap for your story. So I will see you over there, or I will see you in the next one. Until then, my friend, happy writing and rock on. Shh.